Lady Gaga, arguably one of the most talented and flamboyant musicians the world has ever seen. Not only a master songwriter and keyboard player, Gaga has staged some of the most significant and entertaining shows in the history of pop music. My name is Ian Halperin, award-winning celebrity journalist and author. I've covered Hollywood's biggest stars, including Michael Jackson, Princess Diana, and Elizabeth Taylor. But few have had the meteoric rise of Lady Gaga. I interviewed many of the key people close to Gaga since her career took off to get the story behind the story of who this pop icon really is, and to find out if Gaga was really born this way. Here's the true story as we reveal, warts and all, Chasing Gaga.
I look forward to giving a entertaining and fun and uplifting performance.
Celebrity book publisher Judith Regan's daughter attended school with Gaga. Regan has followed Gaga's career since the beginning.
I loved Lady Gaga from day one. I thought she was an enormous talent. I thought she was incredibly gifted. Here's a woman who can not only create the music, but she can perform the music.
She's not a one-trick pony. She's got so much diversity in her vocal cords alone.
Super smart, very intelligent, very authentic, very passionate.
Every day, there's something that moves my world, that comes into my office, and it's always Gaga. It's always Gaga.
She could have a Latin hit. She could have a club hit. She could have a ballad. She could have a country song.
Every time I went out with her, it was always, you know, the lipstick and the eyelashes and the fingernails and the, you know, she was always done. She was always in character, so to speak.
She is better at being Katy Perry than Katy Perry is. Better dancer than Britney, as good as Madonna, and I think Madonna would agree. She is hardworking and very creative and very talented, and she's not willing to waste an ounce of that talent on something someone else thinks she should do.
Happening in the Big Apple, Lady Gaga gave her little monsters a thrill.
When you don't stifle the creativity of others, that's when the lie becomes the truth.
With Gaga's outlandish outfits and ever-changing hairstyles, she's fearlessly managed to mix music and fashion in a way the world has never seen before. Arguably, she's become music's all-time fashion icon. Her quirky fashion sense has wowed her fans and won the respect of the world's top fashion critics.
Lady Gaga is such an interesting study. Aside from the multiple pictures and amazing magazine covers, Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, Rolling Stone, it's really quite an accomplishment for such a short period of time.
One thing I really appreciated about her is that she's very encouraging for those people around her. Like, she's very curious and interested in what other people are doing, so she makes you feel, when she's in your presence, she actually makes you feel really good about yourself too. It's not just about her.
I wasn't around for the Beatles, which is the only other comparable act I can think of, and I remember first seeing her in 2007 and wondering, who's this girl with the bangs and the big nose? And then I heard her music, and I went out and bought the album and been hooked ever since.
I think it's great that she can dress as a man, that she can dress covered in meat, that she hasn't had a nose job, that she hasn't altered her face to achieve the kind of celebrity that she has. The reason she didn't have to do that is because the woman is talented.
My passion for music and for art and for fashion is so deep in my blood that I could cry just sitting here talking to you about it.
Lady Gaga conquered the UK last night when the 23-year-old singer nabbed 3 honors at their annual Brit Awards.
Lady Gaga is an outstanding artist, and she's an outstanding business person.
Gaga has been inspiring designers, magazines, music videos. She inspires everyone, but for fashion, she's creating trends.
Lady Gaga made her runway debut at Paris Fashion Week. The pop star strutted her stuff in ridiculously high heels, hitting the French catwalk.
Designers are mimicking her, they're inspired by her. Photographers are creating concepts entirely around her.
If there were no Amy, there'd be no Gaga. If there were no Madonna, there'd be no Amy, and there'd be no Gaga. If there were no Gaga, how many performers can you name right now that wouldn't exist if it weren't for Gaga?
It's always the unexpected with Gaga. That's why I love her. She's very ahead of the curve. She's very inspirational and creative. She's the ultimate entertainer. We need this. We need this in life.
A self-professed learning junkie, Lady Gaga's brilliant mind always seems to find new possibilities. A master thinker, Gaga seems comfortable with ambiguity, and her fans adore it. But along with her fame, she always seems to find some skeptics, even those who have worked with her, who sometimes accuse the supreme risk-taker of copying other iconic artists, like David Bowie and Bette Midler. We delve deep into all the controversies and myths about Gaga to find out who Gaga really is. Legendary New York nightclub promoter Michael T. worked with Gaga before she became famous. He said he never thought she would become a mega superstar.
What's your reaction, the way she starts to shock everyone? Meat dress, the egg, all that. Give us your...
I mean, you know, I think it's ridiculous. It's shock for shock's sake, but not really shocking when you really appreciate artists that were truly revolutionary and shocking in their day, from Bowie to Blondie to the Sex Pistols. She is a sort of pop culture sponge, but in the worst kind of way.
Michael T. is always Michael T., which is why I love him. And he, you know, you didn't have to be cool, you didn't have to know anybody, you didn't have to even dress cool. You know, us baby scenesters, you know, would really look up to him, and he treated us very well.
Even Bette Midler now is getting on her case because she came out on stage in a wheelchair with as a mermaid, which Bette Midler has been doing that since the late 70s, early 80s.
He seems mixed about Gaga. He seems offended when she came out with that Bowie type look.
It's good that you get that from Michael T.
If I worried about everything that everyone said, I would not be a good artist.
Sometimes you can say, this person was incredibly well marketed, right? And they had good talent, but they were really well marketed.
I played a lot of places that Lady Gaga's played. I played Rockwood Music Hall. I played Parkside Lounge. I lived 2 blocks away from her, and you can't get away from her. Every place that you play, that's all people talk about. Oh, that's where Lady Gaga played.
In the case of Lady Gaga, she has enormous talent. She writes these great pop tunes that resonate with people. People like it.
Her character went from just another figure in the Lower East Side to something that obviously now got a little reshifted, started to be more like a dance pop queen.
She's not a musician. Her songs have 3 chords to them. It's juvenile stuff that I could have written when I was in 3rd grade.
How do you want me, my baby boy?
I do enjoy Madonna's concerts and Britney Spears' concerts, but the creativity isn't at the same level of the Gaga concerts.
She's a great performer, and the visual is always interesting and provocative, and we fall in love with this.
In order to make it as a female artist, and believe me, I know, you have to put yourself out there in ways that are completely inappropriate, and I choose not to do that. I am a better musician than Gaga, and so there has to be some things that she's done in order to get her to the place that she's at.
The way she's constructed her story is something that resonates with people, you know, that she feels like an alien, that she feels like a monster, that she feels like the kid that was rejected and socially awkward and had no friends. And this is a story that she's created that people can relate to because people feel so alienated. She makes people feel welcome and loved.
Her tweets will talk about her little monsters that she has out there. She's really engaging herself. They feel like they're a part of that entourage that she has created, that 12 million person entourage.
For myself as a performer, half of the show is the stage and half of the show is the audience. And what I felt was that the audience was so engaged and so inspired by the performance, and that's what creates the magic. And that's when the change happens.
I'm asking everybody in this film, if Lady Gaga was a restaurant, which one would she be?
Lady Gaga would be the Russian tea room because it is a crazy, wonderful, old New York, amazing, 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 major restaurant.
McDonald's, it's there. You might like it for a moment, but ultimately it's quite disposable and it's not good for you.
I would take the greatest restaurants in the world and create an emporium of the most fantastic restaurants with the most incredible dishes, and that would be Lady Gaga, a smorgasbord of fabulous food.
Coming up, Gaga, fresh, provocative, unique, how she took the world by storm in a very short time. And still to come, an interview with Gaga's original band, when Chasing Gaga continues. You're watching a portrait of the world's biggest music icon, Chasing Gaga.